Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining today and watching my video. This today will show unmolding loaves of soap, beveling the edges, cutting them, and stamping them. I am the founder and maker for the Clean Bubble, and I wanted to share just a basic video of how to unmold and cut your soap that you're making at home or in your studio. So this one today is a tea tree peppermint soap, and as you can see, I did top it with organic oats, and there's also oats inside. I had sprinkled some oats down in the bottom of the mold before I poured there, so you can see it's really pretty in the bottom. So first things first is I always take my vegetable peeler. It's just a standard non-swivel vegetable peeler that I got off of Amazon, and I go ahead and bevel the edges, and that saves me a step so that when I do cut my bars, I don't have to cut the sides on each bar. So that's my bowl of shavings. I do use my leftover shavings to make confetti soap as well. If you've seen confetti soap, it's usually got little bits and pieces of different colors of soap throughout it. And so that's what that bowl over there makes. And also it doesn't waste. So here I am cutting my first bars. And this was a drop swirl design that I also did a hanger swirl with. You can Google all of the different techniques for cold processed soap and try them out at home. Sometimes they can seem intimidating, but I do encourage you just to try, because I really haven't, out of all of the soaps I've made, I don't think I've ever had one turn out terrible or unusable. So, I mean, even if it turns out not exactly how you planned, most of the time you can still see the beauty in them. So as you can see, I'm cutting each piece in equal cuts. I do have a big Cadillac size soap cutter that I got off of Etsy. You can search those and find those, and that way you get a uniform cut. You can also buy smaller cutters that just do kind of to your discretion sizing, but this one is nice for accuracy. I do, as you can see, like I said, I bevel the edges, and that saves me time for later. I do recommend turning your soap on its side instead of cutting the wire right through the top. Sometimes it kind of saves that top to look a little bit prettier without the drag lines through it. And so that's why you may see soap makers do that, turning it on its side. So as you can see, they're going to be uniform edges. This soap is not quite ready to use. You could technically use it right away, but it would melt quickly. It wouldn't last very long, and they're not very hard yet. So with this soap, I did use a recipe of olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, and earth safe mica and essential oil. So I'm going to let these harden for probably about 4 weeks before I sell them on my website. And so this is kind of the cleaning up part of it. You can use your little beveler, your vegetable peeler, to just kind of get those hard edges off. Some people do like to keep it raw on the sides. I personally like it a bit beveled. It's just easier to hold in the shower, and those sharp edges are kind of hard to get a good lather. So you can, do it to your discretion and what you like. On these particular ones, I'm only beveling just the 4 corners. I'm not going to do the tops or the bottoms, but I do have other soaps where I will bevel all of the edges, like every single edge on the bar. So again, I always save my shavings because I can reuse that into a confetti soap later, or even just use it as a topping on a soap. And those can look really pretty, those soap curls. So you can see that drop swirl detail a little bit better too here. And next, after I'm done doing each of these bars, I will go in with my soap stamp. It is a hard acrylic stamp that I got off of Etsy. I do try to use Etsy as often as possible because I love supporting other small businesses. So as you can see here, there's my little stamp. I got a tip from another soaper that a way to keep soap from getting stuck in your stamp is to spray it with alcohol first. So you'll see that every 4 or 5 stamps I do spray my stamp with a bit of alcohol before stamping. And that keeps soap from getting in the grooves. So I chose to do my handle on Instagram, which is at the Clean Bubble, and that's what my stamp says. I'm actually shopping around right now for another stamp just because this one does tend to get soap stuck in it and it can be kind of annoying. So I'm actually looking into buying a new stamp right now, but this one is still works well. So I do choose to stamp my soap right after I cut it. The reason for that is I like to be able to get a nice clean stamp into it. If you wait longer, you can still stamp it and you can use a mallet and kind of pound it into the side of it. But I prefer this method of just being able to press it in with my hand. So as you can see, that's what I was doing here. I even stamped my edge. Thanks for watching, everyone.